within the context of this teaching, the only thing that's really of interest is whether or not you're present in this moment. And to be present in this moment means you're here and you're nowhere else. The only way you can be somewhere else is to think your way out of here. There's no other possibility. To be a fully present, fully awakened being is your natural state. To be awake in the realization of oneness is your natural state. It's the truth of who you are. When you're present, you are love, you are acceptance, you are compassion, you are empowered from within. And you exist in the realization of oneness. That's the truth of who you are, and there's nothing you can do about it. But the question arises, what happened? What happened? Where did we go astray? Who have we become on this long journey over many lifetimes? Who have we become? Because we've become something other than the truth of who we are. We've become caught in the world of the human thinking mind, dominated by the ego, lost in separation, lost in illusion, walking around with all these repressed emotions from our past, all these limiting beliefs from our past, all these fears and desires that keep us in the past and future. Who have we become? And most of us would like to deny who we've become, or hide who we've become, fix who we've become. Most of us judge who we've become. We don't want anyone to know who we've become. Jealous, controlling, a victim, manipulative, judgmental, not good enough, unworthy, unloved, alone, no one here for you. We don't want anyone to know those things about us, so we hide them, and we hide them from ourselves. I don't want anyone to know that I feel unloved, so I spend the rest of my life hiding it and searching for someone to love me. But it doesn't work, because at a deeper level, I don't feel unloved. That comes from my childhood. Or deep down I feel I'm not good enough, so I spend the rest of my life trying to prove that I'm good enough. Deep down I don't feel I'm acceptable or accepted, so I spend the rest of my life trying to gain acceptance. Deep down I don't feel I fit in, so I spend the rest of my life trying to fit in. Deep down I feel alone, and so I spend the rest of my life trying to escape the pain of aloneness, the pain of separation. Can anyone relate just a little bit to what I'm saying? Can you put your hand up if you relate just a little bit? So this teaching is about awakening. Awakening from the limited world of the mind, awakening from the remembered past, the imagined future, awakening from illusion and separation, awakening from the dream. We are all asleep dreaming that we're awake. And you don't recognize this until you wake up. And what does that mean, wake up? It means wake up out of the past and future. Wake up out of the world of thought. Now you're really here. You're really present with what is here. Who is present with what is here? I am. The I am of you is pure consciousness, eternal silent presence. And as that awakens within you, it begins to flow into your life. Love, acceptance, compassion, power, truth, oneness. All these qualities begin to flow into your day-to-day living as you awaken into the I am presence, or that dimension of you that is of the present moment. And you really don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything to fix yourself or fix your life. All that's necessary is you relax more and more into presence and become more and more a master of your mind and ego. And to come out of the world of the mind and out of the world of constant, never-ending thinking, all that's necessary is bring yourself present with something that's here in the moment with you. That's all. If you can see it in this moment, you can be present with it. If you can hear it in this moment, you can be present with it. Smell, taste, touch. The moment you're present with something that's really here, you come out of the mind. Now you're present. And in this moment of presence, you are an awakened being. In this moment. I'm not saying it lasts beyond this moment, because in truth, there is no beyond this moment. That's the illusion. The only way you can have access to beyond this moment is to go into your mind and project into the future. Oh, I'm an enlightened being in the future. No, you're not. The only moment you can be an enlightened being is this moment. And it doesn't go beyond this moment. But this moment never goes away. So as long as you remain present in the moment, you're an awakened or an enlightened being in this moment. The only catch is that we humans are so deeply habituated to living in the mind. We're so deeply addicted to thinking that we have to ask ourselves, what will it take to make this shift? Out of the world of the mind into the world of now, fundamentally established in presence. What will it take? What is the way of awakening? What is the way of liberation? And that's what this teaching is about. 2 simple steps. Step 1, master the art of being present. Step 2, bring conscious awareness to all the ways you're pulled out of the present moment, all the blocks to your being present, all the things that keep you in the past and future, imprisoned in the past and future. Step 2 leads to mastery of the mind and ego. And that's all it is. In any given moment in your life, you're either present or you're bringing consciousness to how you're not present. How did that happen? What happened? And it's not an analytical process. It's a witnessing process from presence. From presence, I witness whatever's coming up that is not of presence. I'm not trying to change it. I'm not trying to fix it. But I don't miss a thing. Not a thing. That's what it takes to awaken. You have to be so present that you don't miss a thing. Judgment is arising. Feeling of unworthiness is arising. I own it, I acknowledge it, I confess it. It's not the truth. I'm not trying to fix it, I'm not trying to get rid of it. I'm just bringing it to consciousness. Because these things only have power over you when they're unconscious. As you bring them to consciousness with love, acceptance, compassion, they just all relax and release you deeper and deeper into the present moment. That is the simple way of awakening. And it works. Can anyone attest that it works, this way of awakening? Hands up, please. For those viewing, many hands went up. And the greatest gift you can bring anyone is the gift of being present with them, the gift of presence. It's the only thing anyone really needs, but they've disconnected so deeply from this deep, true need that they've forgotten that's what they need. But when you start bringing that gift to others, they'll start to respond, they'll feel it. Wow, someone's actually present with me. I'm not used to that. Okay, does anyone have a question or a sharing? If not, we have a long list from our webcast people. But you get first go. No? Okay. Mary, shall we? Yes, we have a hand going up in the back.
Sometimes there's times when we're kind of brought into a hyper awareness, like a traumatizing event or something that's so impacting that it seems to last for days on end, bringing you out of kind of the present moment, but because of the impact of the situation. So my question is kind of, how would you keep this at surface without allowing it to penetrate into your subconscious and coming up later, or allowing it to?
Well, when you speak of, did you say heightened consciousness? What did you say? What were your words?
Yeah, I called it more like an extreme consciousness, when you're in a situation of extremely heightened awareness.
Well, that would be a mini awakening if you can relax with it. In fact, the trauma that you've experienced in your life has propelled you out of the story. The problem is that the mind will cling and hold on to it. But if you can relax and really open up into the moment, then it's as if the story or the dream has ejected you. Now you're awake in the present moment. This happens to many people. It happened to Eckhart Tolle. It happened to Buddha. And I've met many people that have awakened suddenly out of some sort of traumatic experience where life has become so difficult, the story has become so difficult that it's as if they're ejected from the story, there's no alternative. Now, most people stay in the story. They stay in the story suffering, relentlessly trying to fix the story or make it better. But occasionally, the story is so difficult that people are just ejected from it and they actually have an awakening. But if they're not prepared, if they don't know what it is, then it can be very difficult because it's a completely different state of consciousness. And so it's very worthwhile if one is prepared for such an event. But often we're not.
Right.
And so it's helpful to have someone like me here who can guide you through such an experience and say, just relax, it's okay. Be present with the trees. Let the feelings come. Let the energy flow. Just let it be, it's okay. You really need someone to say, it's okay. Because most people around you who don't know will say, it's not okay. And if you're not careful, you'll find up in some kind of medical institution.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line. Okay?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of had an event happen in my when I was younger, where it was a traumatizing thing, and I got kind of propelled out of my body into an awareness kind of state.
Well, there are different kinds of experiences, so we won't go into the details right now. Can you pass the microphone back to Mary?
Thank you.
You see, that could also be an experience where you're ejected not just from the mind and the story, but also ejected from the body. And that's not really what I'm speaking about. That's a pretty dramatic escape route. Out of the story, out of the mind, out of the body, I'm out of here. But what I'm describing is an escape from, or an ejection from the world of the mind and the story very profoundly into the body and the world of now, and everything becomes profoundly mysterious and tremendous sense of love and wonder and oneness. I mean, that's what happened to me. I didn't awaken through some dramatic or traumatic experience, but I know what the experience is. Okay? Mary, would you like to read a question from the list?
This question is from Amy from Minneapolis. I have recently shifted into a deeper level of presence. I'm letting go of control, entering into the unknown, and experiencing a new sense of freedom. And my ego is having a major temper tantrum as a result. Can you review how to approach the ego's resistance to the moment? It is relentless right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Amy, for your question. And Amy, what you're describing is almost inevitable for anyone who is on a path of awakening. Because the ego likes to be in control. And it needs you in its world if it's going to remain in control. And its world is the world of the remembered past and the world of the imagined future. And its role in your life is to protect you in that painful world of separation. But in order to protect you, it must be in control. And as you start becoming present and opening into presence, the ego will freak out. It wants you enlightened, but it doesn't want you present. It wants you spiritual, but it doesn't want you present. Because the ego can think it's enlightened, and the ego can become more and more spiritual, but it can't be present. And as you become present, the ego feels like you're leaving it, or it's being left behind. And as your mind becomes silent, as you become present, it's even most likely that the ego will either feel it's dying or disappearing because the thoughts are not there. And if you think any ego is going to stand by and let itself be extinguished in that way, think again. And the ego is extremely clever. It's very clever at keeping you locked up in the past or the future. It's really easy for the ego to accomplish that. And then it can continue its role as your protector. And any attempt to defeat the ego, any attempt to overcome the ego, any attempt to get rid of the ego means you lose. The ego wins. You cannot defeat the ego. It's impossible. So you're going to have to go through a process, Amy, of coming into right relationship with the ego. In a way, the ego has to recognize the nature of its own dilemma. The ego is not your enemy. It is your friend and protector. But it's confused and it doesn't want to die. It doesn't want to let go of control. So it's as if there's a little conversation you have to have with the ego. And it has to be a simple conversation, and don't keep talking to the ego. Once is enough. Ego, it's okay, you're not dying or not disappearing. That's not the plan. What's happening, says the ego. I'm just becoming present. My mind is falling silent. I don't like that, says the ego. Why not? Well, I'm not in control. Why do you need to be in control? You ask the ego. So I can protect you. But if I'm present, there's nothing to protect me against. Says the ego. Let me ponder that. Well, then what will I do, says the ego. That's all I know, protecting you. I have to stay in control and protect you. I'll have nothing left to do. Well, would you like a new job? A new job, says the ego. Yes, isn't your job difficult? Your current job as protector in a painful world of separation, isn't that difficult? Yes. Well, what's the new job? Asked the ego. Assistant life manager in the world of time. Don't you know I'm an eternal being? I don't know my name without you. You are an essential part of my life in the world of time, ego. I need you. I love you. I will appreciate everything you do for me as my assistant life manager. Well, how quickly will this transition occur, says the ego? On your terms, you tell the ego, on your terms, as it feels comfortable for you. But it will never occur, this transition, unless you allow me to gently and gradually become more and more present in my life. Allow me to relax more and more into presence, and you'll start to trust the flowering of presence from within. And ego, by the way, I would not ask you to surrender to anything other than the true master arising from within. But if you never allow me to be present, ego, beloved ego, if you never allow me to be present, how can the true master arise from within? So, little by little, as you feel more and more comfortable, you release me more and more into presence, and I shall be eternally grateful. Okay, Amy, so you have to come into right relationship with the ego, and that's only possible as you become more and more present. From presence, you begin to witness all the ways the ego is tricking you and manipulating you and pulling you out of the present moment. Now, is anyone's ego listening right now? Hands up if your ego is listening, because your ego needs to listen. This is a missing piece in most spiritual, if not all spiritual traditions, this piece. Many spiritual traditions will teach or say that with enlightenment, with awakening, the ego is gotten rid of, or annihilated, or killed off, or it disappears for good. That is such an unhelpful teaching. Because I can assure you, when you're reading that in some spiritual book, or listening to some spiritual teacher tell you that, I can assure you the ego is listening in with you, or reading along with you, and it says, really? We'll see about that. I don't think so, says the ego. And the truth is, no one has ever defeated the ego in the history of humanity. Not Buddha, not Jesus, not Ramana Maharshi. No one. For the simple reason, the very effort to defeat the ego is the ego trying to defeat itself. Presence simply accepts and allows and reveals into consciousness with love, acceptance and compassion. And that's the energy you bring to your ego. And you don't miss a trick. How does the ego keep you in the past, imprisoned in the past? Very clever. It just runs through you the energy of resentment, blame, guilt, judgment, anger. If you buy into the story that those energies are telling you, it's got you where it wants you. It's got you caught in the past. But if you just let these energies arise, you don't believe in them, you're not for it or against it, it'll all slowly relax and you'll remain present. The way it keeps you in the future, very clever trick. The promise of future fulfillment. It has some other good tricks. Attachment. Anybody in this room attached to anything? Put your hand up. Does anyone here believe in your beliefs? Hands up those who have any good beliefs. Good. Anyone have any good opinions? Is anyone in this room, are your opinions correct? Yes or no? Yes. This is how we stay imprisoned within the world of the mind. The ego's got us. Not one thought, not one memory, not one imagining, not one opinion, not one belief is true. Doesn't mean they should go away. They're just not true. Attachment. Did I mention attachment? Yes. Why do I think of that when I look at Carol? The other thing I can say about awakening is fun. If you take yourself seriously, you're never going to wake up, because really it's a huge joke. We're all eternal beings pretending not to be. Or we're eternal beings lost in time. That'd be a good movie title or something. Lost in Time, or Climbing Sun. Write that, will you? We're all lost in time. We're lost in thought, lost in memory, lost in imagining, lost in belief. Belief is probably the most dangerous. How many people throughout our history and throughout our many lifetimes, how many people have we killed in the name of our beliefs? I wonder. How much of that is going on as I speak? How many people are being killed in this moment because of belief in belief? If the suicide bombers didn't believe that there were 7 virgins waiting for them, would they carry out their mission? Probably not. If they didn't believe that they were in service to God, would they carry out their mission? Probably not. If they knew the truth, if they knew what was waiting for them, they'd get rid of those things wrapped around their waist very quickly. And that's true for all of us. When you're present, really present, your mind is silent. And when your mind is silent, where is Christianity? Where is Judaism? Where is Islam? Where is Buddha? If your mind is silent, where? I can't say where is Buddha, where is Buddhism? Because Buddha's probably here. He's sitting in the back corner there. I meant behind you, Bill. But you too, sir, are a Buddha when you're present. When you're awake at the deepest level of presence, you are a Buddha, which means you're awake in Buddha consciousness, which means you're awake in pure consciousness. You're utterly present. Your mind is silent. You're immersed into the moment of now, full immersion into isness, pure consciousness, oneness. That's Buddha. Now add in a little intoxication with love, and you have Christ. Not really intoxicated, overflowing with love. But that's who you are when you're present. The only problem is you're it, so you're the only one who doesn't know it. Because you're it. Okay, does anyone have a question? I highly recommend asking questions, but if not, we'll go to our list. Okay, yes.
I feel embarrassed, Leonard, to ask the question really after listening to you so wonderfully, but can we go right back to basics?
Certainly.
Because it's like there's a part of me that really doesn't get it.
Doesn't get what?
Being present. What does that feel like? We come in, we all get silent. It feels a little bit, this is unfair, but like almost serious. And
But
Okay,
can't-
okay. How do I tune into this? What is it? And I'm
Okay.
aware of my own extreme anger in my head. I'm aware of this kind of
You are in this moment?
mind that's almost on crack cocaine. It feels like that's just
Oh.
doing this somber, And there's this anger coming. I was trying to be present with the lily behind you
No,
tonight.
that's not going to work. First of all, you can't use presence as an escape from a mind on crack. Or from a mind filled with anger. That's not going to work.
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Right. So you have to attend to what's showing up in the moment. If there's nothing going on, it's easy to be present. It's easy to be present with the flower. It's as simple as tuning in to the flower or to the sound or to your body breathing. But if there's a whole lot of anger going on, you have to attend to that. In fact, Jesus gave us a good clue when he said, "Whosoever is angry with your brother, first go and reconcile with your brother, then bring the gift to the altar." He's saying there's no way you're going to bring the gift to the altar. The gift is the gift of presence. If you have all this unresolved anger within you. So the difference between you and me is I celebrate your anger. I love your anger. So if your anger could express now in one sentence beautifully, what will it say? If you liberate anger, give anger its right to be itself. Anger's not nice, it's not polite, it wants to swear, kill, maim, cuss, and torture anyone who hurt you. So, what does anger want to say? Well, who are you angry at?
It's interesting. I'm sad all of a sudden, incredibly sad all of a
Well,
sudden.
that's then you're escaping from the anger. But
Oh,
that's
all
okay.
right. Well,
let me say, David, the sadness is always underneath anger.
right.
So when you allow the anger expression, or even if you attend to it, perhaps the sadness will open up. So what are you sad about? One sentence. Come on.
Separation off the top of my head. Waste of
But that's
time.
the problem.
Life wasted, not fitting in. End of my life.
End of your life.
It's been
My
a
God,
waste
I
of
don't
thing.
think you're going to make it through this evening.
Well, a part of me wouldn't care. It's huge disappointment. Not knowing how to fit in, not understanding this dimension. Like, why the hell did you put me here, God? What's the fucking game? I don't understand.
Good question. So you're really trying to fit in, or you've been trying all your life to fit in, right?
Yeah.
Good. Well, you've failed miserably, haven't you?
Yes.
Congratulations. Hands up, anyone else who's failed miserably to fit in. If you fitted in, you wouldn't be here in this room. You'd be out mowing. You'd be out there mowing the lawns. And waiting for your gold watch. And you'd be perfectly content in your sleepiness. What you've been trying to do all along is to fit into an unconscious world, a world where no one is present. That creates so much suffering. I went through that big time. It came to me. That was the beginning of my awakening when I realized what I'd been doing. I've been trying so hard to fit into an unconscious world. And I didn't. And it wasn't until I accepted that I could relax. So you really have a choice. Do you want to fit into an unconscious world of past, future, the mind, illusion, separation, or do you want to fit into the world of now, the present moment? The answer is probably the first. Because you want to be accepted, you don't want to be alone. At the end of the day, David, you're avoiding the pain of separation. Why did God put me here? That's a really good question. The answer is because you have lessons to learn. If you're not here, where would you rather be? Come on, give me a clear answer.
Oh, some other dimension.
Some other dimension. Tell me about that other dimension. Is it nice? Is it full of love?
Yes.
Full of love.
Yes.
Is it full of God?
Yes.
Good. Full of oneness?
Yes.
Good. Isn't that nice? Wouldn't you rather be there?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. You remember that actually, don't you? At some unconscious level, you remember that.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yes, you do. Well, the lesson you're here to learn, David, is that by holding on to that memory of that beautiful, you could almost describe it as heaven, right?
Yeah, I think so.
By that memory of heaven in your past somewhere that lingers with you and prevents you from being here because this sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. That's
It
really,
sucks.
yeah, it does. It's the pit.
So much judgment, so much control, so much criticism. So we're not allowed to be ourselves. We're not free here. This sucks. How could you do this to me, God? I don't want to be here. Is that a fair statement,
Yes.
David? I don't want to be here.
Yes.
Well, say it. I don't want to.
I
be
don't want to be here.
Okay, say it again.
I don't want to be here.
Okay, so that makes sense to me because it sucks here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, would you please be present with these flowers? Can you see them?
Yes.
Good. Now, I dare you to say that to the flowers. I don't want to be here with you. I dare you to. Can you say it? Yes or no?
Yes, I could say it.
You don't want to be here with the flowers.
I could say that.
Do you mean it? You have to be careful with your words. You have to find a very deep level within yourself where you have to examine, is that true? Because it's perfectly legitimate to say, I don't want to be here in this unconscious humanity, with this unconscious humanity, lost in separation. Each of us living in our separate worlds, separate from God, separate from truth, separate from love. Why did you do this to me, God? I don't want to be here. I can't tell you how many people live with that at a deep unconscious level. But I always intervene by saying, look at the flowers, be really present with them, and is that true? You don't want to be here. Because you have to review that. Because when you just say, I don't want to be here, you say you're including the flowers unless you're specific. Does anybody get what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have to distinguish. I didn't mean you, leaves, I'm sorry. I didn't mean you, tree. I didn't mean you, mountain, or sky, or clouds, or birds flying beautifully across the sky. I'm happy to be here with you. Is that a fair statement, David? If not, you're destined for eternal damnation. You might want to review that at a very deep level. But I do honour what you're saying. It's very honest what you're saying. And I'd encourage you to say it more. I'd encourage you to deeply embrace that statement. I don't want to be here. You've got to feel it. I hate it here. Why? It's ugly here. Why? There's no love here. Why? I feel separate here. There's no one present. What is it? Why? You've got to really feel deeply into it. It's too painful. That's the bottom line. It's too painful here.
Right.
But you're just skimming around all of these things in your mind and avoiding the feeling of it. You need to be rolling around on the floor, weeping and wailing, perhaps even gnashing your teeth.
Yeah, I can see that.
But you stay comfortably in the mind, and you can run it around in the mind, but it doesn't take you anywhere. You have to get into the feelings. I hate it here. I hate you, God. I don't want to be here. I hate all of you. No one's present. There's no love here. Feel it. Weep in it. That'll open something that will amaze you. And you ask, why did God send you here? Because you have a lesson to learn. The truth is, we are all on a journey. Now I'm going to enter into the mystery here with you, okay? Is that okay with everybody? We're on a journey from heaven to heaven on earth. But that involves embodiment in the physical body. What you're remembering is not embodied. And as long as that unconscious belief is there, I don't want to be here, that will prevent you from being here. You have to bring that out. Tell the trees, I hate you. I don't love you. I don't want to be here with you. You're ugly. Tell the trees. You're not present. Maybe then you'll see that It's not the trees who are not present, but you. And if you're not present, where are you? In the mind. And what's in the mind? Your story. And what is your story? I don't want to be here. It's too painful here. There's no one here. I must be being punished. Okay?
Yeah, good. Thanks.
Right. So let's all be present together. Can anyone relate to what I was just sharing? The whole point of this gathering is for us to be present, which means you're here present with what is here. Your body is breathing. You're present with the sound you hear. Your mind is silent. Okay, can we pass the microphone down here, please?
Hi.
Hi.
I can't really think of a question.
Well, good. I can't think of an answer.
But I want to interact with you. I want to be here with you.
Good. And are you here with me?
I feel as though I am.
Then you are. Does it feel good?
It does, but there's a bittersweet quality to it. There's a brimming quality to it.
A brimming? Right.
Yeah, it's like as I notice myself feeling into it, there's tears that are there that.
And if the tears could speak through you in one sentence beautifully, what would the tears say?
I'm here.
Good. Perfect. Good. And there's a bit of sweetness in that.
Yeah.
I'm
they're
here now,
definitely
but I
sweet.
haven't always been here.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a sadness in I haven't always been here. There's a sweetness in but I'm here now.
Yes.
And so you can feel both. Good. You don't have to say anything. You just hang out and enjoy being in the present moment. Present with me, present with whatever's here in the moment with you. Your body is breathing. The beautiful thing is, there's always something to be present with, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Because the present moment never goes away, and there's always so much in the present moment that you can be present with. And you're a free being, so you can be present with whatever you like. You can be present with me, but you can be just as easily present with one of these flowers. Just for a moment, leave me and be present with the flower. Bring that gift of presence to the flower. Say yes when you're present with the flower. Just say yes when you're present.
Yes.
Good. So stay present with the flower. The flower is enjoying your presence immensely. The flower is not used to someone being present with it. Good. So you can stay present with the flower, or you can come back to me, or you can be present with the sound you hear, or your body breathing. It's really so simple. And then I can ask you, who is present in this moment? I am.
I am.
Just I am.
I am.
It's like a declaration. Who is here? I am. And then silence. Good. Okay.
Yeah, it feels shaky.
That's okay. Who's aware of the shakiness?
I am.
Yeah. At the center of your being, there's no shaky. Good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, did you have your hand up? Okay, pass the microphone back there and you just stay present. What's your name? Damien. Just stay present, Damien. What's
So,
your name? If you're new here, just say your name so we get to know you.
Mark.
Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hello. I guess I just want some clarification. 9 times out of 10 when I hear my mind chatting and going off into future land, I try to bring more mind talk into it and tell myself how that's a stupid thought or how that's just dumb. And
That's not going to work.
I know that's not going to work. But then other times it'll be along the lines of, oh, well, that's just your mind going off. So I guess what the question would be, are you more along the lines of saying, just sit with it, listen to it, and just be with it?
Well, I'm more along the lines of becoming present with what's here.
Yes.
The moment you're truly present, right now, become present with either one of these leaves or one of these flowers. I don't mind which it is. Just be present and say yes when you're present.
Yes.
Good. Now stay present with the flower. Is your mind silent in this moment, yes or no?
Yes.
Good. That's it. Now stay present with the flower. Now if a thought did arise or was to arise within you, you just notice it. You're not for it. You're not against it. You don't say it's stupid. You don't try and get rid of it. You don't try and stop it. Just stay present with the flower. You just notice it. Oh, thinking, and then come back to being present with your body breathing or the flower or whatever's here. You notice it. The moment you're for it or against it, it catches you. It's just a little thought passing across a vast blue sky. You are the vast blue sky. The thought is like a tiny cloud that big. Can a tiny cloud obscure the vast blue sky? No. Unless you get involved in the cloud or involved in the thought. How do you get involved in the thought? If you're for it and you believe in it and you think it's interesting, you drift off with the thought. Or if you're against it or you're trying to stop it because you're trying to be enlightened, then you get absorbed into the thought. But a tiny thought cannot obscure a clear blue sky. But many, many clouds, one after the other, tiny cloud, tiny cloud, tiny cloud, they never stop. They keep popping up. Before you know it, there's no blue sky. That's endless thought. So how do you overcome that? You overcome it very gently. And in a way, not trying to overcome it. You're just exercising your God-given right to be present with something that's here in the moment with you. If it only lasts 2 seconds before the thoughts resume, that's okay. Allow that. Just go with that. But maybe 30 seconds later or 2 minutes later or an hour later, come back. Be present for another 2 seconds. No effort, no trying, no practice, no resistance. You're just exercising your God-given right to be here in the truth of life, present with what is here. And then as you become more present, it'll become easier and easier. You'll start to notice what's going on within the mind. Step 2 will become more and more available to you. If you're not sure what I mean by step 2, then you're going to have to read my book. Because I can't go through the whole thing here. Okay? But it has to be gentle. You have to be in right relationship with your thoughts. Just like you have to be in right relationship with the ego. Right relationship with the inner child, or right relationship with your anger. This is all about coming into right relationship with every aspect of yourself. And right relationship is only possible from presence. Because when you're present, you are love. You are acceptance. You are compassion. It's who you are. You don't have to do it. It's who you are. And so it's you meeting these aspects of yourself in love, in acceptance, in compassion. It's as if everything is being revealed in love, in this energy of love, acceptance, compassion. Even if judgment arises, no problem. You notice that even that's revealed with love. Wow, I'm so judgmental. That's amazing. Wow, I never stop thinking. Did you notice that, God? one thought after the other. Oh, I'm feeling unworthy. How interesting. But you feel it. Maybe you have a little cry, but you're not lost in it. Right relationship. It's the only thing that will awaken you, liberate you. Okay? Good. Yes, Mary. Are you capable of reading, or have you become too present?
I'm capable. Thank you. This is a comment.
A comment.
May I share a comment?
Okay.
This is from Roland from, I can't pronounce it, but some city in Sweden. Dear Leonard.
Gothenburg.
No,
No?
he's on the outskirts of Gothenburg.
Okay.
It's Nödinge. Nödinge.
Okay.
Dear Leonard, I just want to tell you how extremely happy and thankful I am for your webcasts, filled with your valuable teachings. Love from Roland, living in the outskirts of Gothenburg in Sweden.
Okay, well, thank you. And the reason we read the comments is because we feel it's part of the community here when people can share from abroad or from Sweden how the webcasts are touching them or how they're experiencing what's going on in this group here. Okay, Mary, so would you like to read a question?
Okay, question is from Teresa from Toronto, Ontario. Is passing through a dark night of the soul necessary for enlightenment?
Okay, is that a good question?
That's a good question.
It really depends on what you mean. What's her name? Teresa. It really depends on what you mean by the dark night of the soul, Teresa. My experience is that as you begin the process of awakening, or it begins to open within you, the awakened state, as that begins to open up within you, it's going to bring with it everything that is unresolved within you, everything that is unhealed from your past, everything that has been hidden, all the pain of the past that you're still carrying, all the misguided ideas. It's all going to come up because sooner or later it has to come up and it has to be encountered, revealed, and then behind it is the glory, the love, the truth. So for me, that has to be what is meant by the dark night of the soul. It's also, it makes sense in the context of duality that before the light will come the dark. And if you can be in right relationship with whatever's showing up, it won't last long. You'll pass through it. It'll move through you. It'll open up and reveal itself. And then you'll start opening up into the love, the oneness, the truth. And you'll be doing really well for a while. And then you'll be dropped into an even deeper level of darkness. Even more darkness comes up from a deeper level and you say, what's that about? How could you do that to me, God? I thought I was enlightened. I thought I made it. And God will say, keep going. Keep going until everything that's buried in the darkness of your unconscious mind is revealed, even within the soul, even going back many, many lifetimes. It's all going to come up sooner or later. And the more present you are, the more accepting you are, the more loving you are to whatever shows up, the faster it will pass through you. Until there's no darkness left. Which really means until there's no judgment left. Because it's only judgment that renders it dark anyway. or creates a problem for you. Because in our world we have night and we have day. We have light, we have dark. It's the nature of our existence. We have everything, we have nothing. And if there's no judgment, everything is equal. But the dark night of the soul does not have to be all that traumatic. It is what it is. And in the present moment I would say, what dark night? Where is it? Because one of the things that most of us, or many of us, find difficult to experience or to know is that the light and the dark are equal. And many, many people on the spiritual path are identified with the light, moving towards the light. I'm in the light, I am the light. And they're rejecting of, judging, condemning of the dark. Now they're going to be forever lost in duality, in a spiritualized illusion, because you have to come into balance, light and dark, they're equal. Then that opens the way for, I am the light and I am the dark. And beyond the light and the dark, God is and I am. Or I am and God is. Beyond the light, beyond the dark. Pure consciousness. God is everything. God is nothing. Beyond everything and nothing, God is, I am. Silence. Pure consciousness. I am that. I am. So at this level it's beyond the capacity of the mind to understand. This is beyond the mind. It's beyond duality. It's beyond the light and the dark. It's the coming into perfect balance within duality which leads to a transcendence of duality. And to the extent that you think about what I'm saying, you cannot know what I'm saying. To the extent that you agree or disagree with what I'm saying, you cannot know what I'm saying. But it all just comes back to being present. Okay, does anyone have a question or a sharing? Mary? You're having a little difficulty there? For those viewing, Mary is so present, she has to adjust to be able to read.
Thank you. This is a comment from Bjorn from somewhere in Holland.
Where?
Hi, Leonard and Mary. I love the webcast. You were brilliant. I cried and I laughed while watching. Thank you. I love you.
Very nice. Now this is from someone that we've never met. Where is Bjorn from?
From
Holland.
Holland.
It's one of those unpronounceable Dutch names.
Right.
Rijwijik.
Okay. Thank you, Mary. And if you'd care to, Mary, you could go to the next question.
Okay, this is from Tatsuya from Fukuyama, Hiroshima, Japan.
Okay.
Dear Leonard, when someone is utterly present, a feeling of excitement or passion does not come up from within? That's a question. Is the silence compatible with such feelings? Thank you.
Okay. And if anyone is tuned in from Japan, I will be in Japan in November. So, excitement and passion, does that arise with presence? For the most part, no. For the most part, when you're truly present, the primary feeling is one of peace, silence, a gentle kind of love, a sense of oneness. There's a really deep stillness. Now, it's possible that excitement can arise. Well, I don't think it can. It's not really excitement. Joy can arise. Ecstasy can arise. Bliss can arise. I guess you could say that's somewhat exciting. But the important thing to know is that the primary feeling that comes with deep presence is peace, silence, stillness, a complete absence of problem, no judgment. You're just here with what is here. What does that feel like? Now, if you feel overwhelmed with love, great, enjoy. If you feel overwhelmed with joy or bliss or ecstasy, enjoy. But I can guarantee you those feelings will pass. And the very deepest level is just pure, eternal silence. The silence that is pure consciousness. And that's ever present within you and it never goes away. It's always there at the very center of your being. Okay. Does anyone have a question? I promise to be gentle with you. No, I will be. Yes, over here too. Say your name first.
Alusha-san.
Alusha-san. Hi, Alusha-san.
Hi.
Yes.
My heart is like beating real fast.
Uh-huh.
And I would love if you can speak more about the fear of death you were saying earlier. Like, I've been going through that.
You
like,
what?
I've been feeling intense. I mean, for no reason. I mean, there's like no danger around me.
Right.
And I just feel like I keep looking, I mean, it's just really. So, I mean, I feel like you already talked about that, but I feel greedy to hear more. Like, it's actually very scary to be. It's just my whole body starts shaking. I'm like, it's just. I figure, love if you can.
Right. Well, just close your eyes and just be present with your body breathing. And if that feeling of fear is there, be present with that. It's okay. Don't run from it. Just feel it. It's okay. Good. And I'm asking God within you to reveal the source and origin of this fear. Let it come up. The source and origin. Where is this coming from, this fear? What is the source and origin? And just share whatever's coming up into your consciousness. Just say whatever comes. Alusha-san, what's happening?
Just, it's like sudden pain.
Pain? Where do you feel the pain? Whereabouts in your body?
My heart area.
Good. Then just feel that. Just feel it. It's okay. Just be with it. Don't try and get rid of it. Just be present with it. That pain needs you. It needs you to attend to it gently. It's okay to feel it. So I'm going to speak to the pain right now, okay?
Okay.
So pain, what are you in pain about? What's so painful? Just say whatever comes. What's so painful? Just feel it. What's so painful? Let the pain speak through you.
It's so.
Don't think about it. Let it speak. What's so painful? What are you in pain about, pain? Let it speak. Let the pain speak. What are you in pain about? What's so painful? What's happening?
It's a pain of separation and
Just say, I'm alone.
I'm alone.
There's no one here.
There's no one here.
Say it again. I'm alone.
I'm alone.
There's no one here.
There's no one here.
What's going to happen? What might happen?
Oh, it's death.
Good. Just say, I'm afraid I'm dying.
I'm afraid I'm dying. Oh. Oh.
What's happening? Where are you? What's happening? Are you dying? Where are you? What's happening?
I'm here. But
It's okay, just keep feeling the feelings. It's one of two things, Alusha-san. It's either a past life surfacing or it's your ego that feels like it's dying. Which one does it feel like?
my ego.
Okay.
Oh.
Right.
There's
Well,
nothing to hold on to.
I know, of course it is. Now say to your ego, it's okay, I'm not going to abandon you. Tell the ego,
Oh, it's okay, ego. I'm not gonna abandon you.
you're not going to die.
You're not gonna die.
I need you.
I need you.
You're a part of me.
You're part of me.
Good.
I feel like on a roller coaster, like there's nothing to hold on to. Everything is just
well, then
slipping
just-
away.
Right, everything is slipping away. Say everything is slipping away.
Everything is slipping away.
Say, I'm slipping away into nothingness.
I'm slipping away into nothingness.
Right. There's nothing here.
There's nothing here.
Good. Where do you feel the nothingness in your body? Where do you feel it most?
Most of it is here.
Good, okay, feel it there. Feel it there.
Ah.
There's nothing there. Just relax. Just relax. Now I want you to let that nothingness in your heart area, just let it begin spreading through your body. It's spreading through your body very gently. It's spreading through your body. It's okay. It's spreading down your legs, spreading down your arms. It's spreading right through your body. You're becoming full of nothing. Just relax with it. Don't ham it up here. Don't ham it up. What are you experiencing?
It's shaking, shaking.
Okay, shaking is allowed. Shaking is allowed. Maybe it's Shaktipat. Are you dead yet?
Sorry?
Are you dead yet?
I'm here.
Are you dead? I'm waiting for you to die. This is very dramatic. Now just let go and die. Let go and die. Good. Are you dead yet? I'll take that as a yes. Can somebody nudge him on and make sure he's still alive? He'll come back, don't worry. Good, just relax, you're dead, that's it, that's good. Does anyone else want to die right now? Just well, this is not a what do you call it, a sweat lodge. If anybody gets what I'm saying. Alusha-san, welcome back. That's what we call a mini dark night of the soul. To be fully awake in presence is like being full of nothing, full of nothingness, full of silence. No past, no future, no thoughts, no opinions, no beliefs, just this moment. Who is present in this moment? I am. Silence, presence. There's not even room for a spiritual overview of ourselves. Do you get what I'm saying? Even that's taken. There's literally nothing left. And what I'm sharing, I want to be very clear, what I'm sharing is not for everyone. It's for those who are ready. And I don't have any opinion about who's ready or who should be ready or who's not ready. But if you're not ready, you won't know what I'm speaking about. And what I'm saying can agitate you and make you angry, because it really is taking away everything, even your spirituality. And if you really open into the nothingness, Alusha-san, just be present with the nothingness, the silence, the nothingness, and then just whisper, God, is that you I'm feeling? Try that one out. Relax into the nothingness. And then ask, God, is that you I'm feeling in the nothingness?
Is that you I'm feeling in the nothingness?
What's the answer? Yes. Tell God, I've been running from you.
I've been running from you.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Good. Beautiful. Now we're in the heart of the mystery. Everyone wants God as everything, and everyone is running from God as nothing. But that throws us out of balance. You just let the feelings flow, Alusha-san.
Thank you, Leonard.
Good. And just say these words after me. Say, God is everything.
God is
Now
everything.
look at me as you say it. God is everything.
God is everything.
And God is nothing.
And God is nothing.
And beyond everything and nothing,
And beyond everything and nothing,
I am
I am.
and God is.
And God is.
Good. Just relax. Okay, Mary, shall we have another question or comment from the list? And you keep feeling your feelings, Alusha-san. You're welcome.
Okay, this comment is from Anita from Mississauga, Canada. My husband and I watched the last webcast. It amazes me the way the questions in our mind are automatically answered through questions and comments from others. It truly gives me a feeling of oneness. We are both registered at the Heaven on Earth retreat in Provence, and we are truly looking forward to these 7 days in France.
Wonderful. Thank you.
This question is from Tanya from Auckland, New Zealand. Hi, Leonard. I started watching your videos about a month ago, and I really enjoy your teachings. They get to the point about being present. I have lived in the mind for my whole life, and I'm glad to know there's now a way out. My question is, how long will it normally take to change from living mostly in the mind to living more in the present?
Well, that's a jolly good question, isn't it? Okay, I'd like to get some answers from the peanut gallery here. Okay, how long? Come on, give me some answers. How long? A week and a half. A week and a half. That's probably an exaggeration. More like a year and a half. Would you not agree, Jennifer? More? Okay. Who else? Come on. Before that shift begins to occur.
I think all the time it's more and more.
Right.
I started out just a little bit, and then I just started being aware of how that felt.
Well, we should give you the microphone if you're going to speak, so that you can be heard.
The more and more that I came, the more and more it was like a feeling, but not a feeling. It's like not having anything, and it's like you get it. And it feels wonderful. It feels so empty and wonderful. So it takes, I think it might be different for everyone.
It is different for everyone.
And for me, the more I come and practice and
The question is, how long does it take?
how long does it, instantly.
Instantly. Well, there's a good answer. Good.
You become present instantly.
That's
and
true.
you want to be present more and more often.
That's also true because it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
And as it feels good and as you become more present, you remember to be present more often.
That's right.
And then you can use step 2 when you're pulled out of presence. Bring more and more consciousness to that. So to answer your question, it is different with everyone. For some people it moves really quickly, and others it can take a year, it can take 2 years, but at the end of the day, who cares? What's more important? If it takes the rest of your life, if it's your last dying breath, and in that last moment as you leave the body, you're utterly present, utterly accepting, utterly compassionate, and there's no resistance or judgment. This. That's good enough. But you don't have to wait till your last breath. There's this breath. It really depends. It depends on how tightly you hold on to what you know, even how tightly you hold on to your spiritual practices, how tightly you hold on to your spiritual beliefs or any kind of beliefs, how tightly you hold on to being the one who knows, how tightly you hold on to the repressed emotions, how tightly you hold on to judgment, how tightly you resist nothingness. But the beautiful thing is, Alusha-san, the beautiful thing is the more present you are, the more it will bring up whatever needs to come up. So it's perfect that it's bringing up in you, in a sense, the last hurrah. The fear of nothingness is the last hurrah. That's it. What's beyond that? That's the last doorway. But if you think about that and think you've achieved something, now you're lost again. There is no achievement. But it's like you said, the more present you are, the more it feels good, and so you choose to be more and more present. Why not? And then all the qualities of presence start to flow into your life. And you find yourself really not having problems. You have situations to respond to, not problems. You have opportunities for discovery, for awakening, not problems. You have opportunities for mastery, not problems. And even when you take a fall into unconsciousness and darkness and pain and suffering, there's some level of you that's actually grateful for that. You see it as an opportunity. Wow, I can bring this to consciousness. Am I right? Okay, can we pass the microphone to Jessica?
I have a comment, confession, is that you've told me many times, and I resist the nothingness.
You
Because I
resist the
feel like
nothingness.
my body can't contain it the way
Right.
Alusha-san is feeling right now. I notice through my life that I touch it and I retract from it because I feel like I can't contain it in my physical body.
Right,
Yet it feels like it's always right there.
right. But how can you contain nothingness? How can
The
anyone?
feelings are so big if I was to allow it.
What would be the feeling? You say the feeling of nothingness is so big. Is that what you're
I
saying?
think so, yeah, I think that's what I'm saying.
Right, and so it's too much to let go into that.
Yeah.
Your ego is afraid of that. It's afraid of letting go. So just say, I'm afraid of letting go.
I'm afraid of letting go.
I'm too big.
I'm too big.
Yes.
I'm too big.
I'm too vast.
I'm too vast.
There's no limit to me.
There's no limit to me.
I'm everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
I'm in everything.
I'm in everything.
That's who I am.
That's who I am.
That can't be true.
I don't know.
Of course it's true.
Oh, okay.
But but see, the moment you start thinking about that, or the mind gets involved in that, of course it's going to clamp it down and try and contain it, because the mind is a limited level of consciousness,
Right.
and the ego has to be in control. It can't be in control of infinite nothingness, vast pure consciousness.
Right.
Just have a sense of space extending throughout the entire universe, and then beyond that, embracing many, many universes. It just keeps going, it never ends. Can you handle it? It just never ends. So it's natural the mind will resist that, the ego will resist that. All you can do with that is own, acknowledge and confess it. Or I'm afraid of this, I'm way too vast. Tell me, I'm way too vast.
I'm way too vast.
I'm much vaster than you, Leonard. Come on.
No. I'm much faster than you, Leonard.
Good. I cannot be contained.
I cannot be contained.
I cannot be limited.
I cannot be limited.
I am unlimited.
I'm unlimited.
There is no end to me.
There's no end to
There's
me.
no beginning.
There's no beginning.
I am
I am
that.
that.
I am.
I am.
Good. Okay. Feeling relaxed? Good.
Thank you.
Okay. And what I'm sharing with Jessica is true for everyone. This is in everyone. And oh, how we contain ourselves. If you're functioning within the mind, you have no clue who you really are. It's impossible to know. And you have no clue what you're doing here. It's impossible to know from within the mind. You have no clue the true purpose of your journey. It's beyond anything you can imagine with the mind. And you are much more than you could ever imagine yourself to be, but imagining yourself to be anything is the problem. Could somebody tell me the time, please?
8:34.
Is it really? Oh, then it's time to finish. See what happens when you enter the timeless zone. We have another 7 pages of questions. Okay. Yes, Mary. Can we have the microphone, please?
This is for the people joining us by webcast, and that is our next evening session will be October 23rd. And I want to say thank you to all those who send in donations. It's greatly appreciated, and all goes to the foundation supporting Leonard's teaching. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And we also appreciate your comments. Feel free to share your comments with us via the comments box on the website. Okay, so that's it for tonight, folks. Thank you for your presence. And until we meet again. Thank you.